Hi everyone, and welcome to the second part of my playthrough. My playthrough, my playthrough, my playthrough of Keyframes. English is not my first language, y'all. Sorry. Um. Okay. I last we spoke. Last we spoke. I was we ended up right at the start of like the barbecue itself, and I paused because I was nearly sure that we were gonna be running into Elio soon, and I wanted to pause at that because it had already been way longer than I usually way longer than I usually do um for these videos. um okay, so let's get this. And the party was on. The volunteers dispersed with loud cheers, and music started to play from speakers set up on the lawn. There was an answering cheer from outside, and the first guests came through the gate in droves. Welcome, everyone. I know I asked you to come hungry, but give our crew a little more time, and that way we'll have something ready for everyone. Dance, play, run, have fun. Go on. Reina's voice blared through the megaphone once more, effortlessly steering all the new arrivals away and saving you and Cameron from from an untimely ignoble end. You glanced at each other with rueful greens. Rueful? Yeah, I think it is rueful. But before you could pick up the next tray, the SGB press herself popped up right next to you. Hello, my little helpers. In a flash, she held both sets of tongues in her hand, clicking them as she nudged you both aside. Thanks for all your hard work. I'll take over from here. We're free? Mm-hmm. Thanks to Ollie, who reduced your sentence by keeping you all honest. She winked, having dismissive, waving dismissive, ah, She winked, waving dismissively as you and Cameron set about untying your aprons. Deja should be around the fire pit, and if you're looking for her, go play, frolic, so forth. Frolic? It's a large backyard. Do what your heart desires. Now, be gone. With a final wave of her tongues, Reina turned back to the grill. Newly dismissed, you and Cameron hustled back toward the riverbank, circling around the crowds until you reached an area strewn with lawn chairs. Deja was right at the center, lounging with her bare feet kicked up on the edge of the unlit fire pit. Dee! Hi, Deja! You both sped up to a trot. You both sped up to a trot and reached out to steady the lawn chairs as Cameron folded down onto their knees to flop over Deja's legs. Hello, my doves. How's the party? Barely started. While you claimed the second lawn chair, Deja lowered her head, a faint frown crossing her face. Cameron, why do you smell like smoke? Uh, because I was cooking? She raised a single eyebrow, and Cameron sat up to pass the buck, scrambling away to perch on your armrest with a mischievous laugh. Ollie was supervising. The fire was very pretty. Um, I'm kidding. Reina, Reina put us both on grill duty for a bit. You should have seen the folks prepping the food earlier. They were putting the skewers together so fast I thought I was seeing double. Were they working outside? Pretty much. I heard someone saying they weren't allowed in the kitchen, so yeah. What were you up to, Ollie? I was indoors decorating cupcakes. What? That sounds more like fun than work. Not necessarily. I'm going to guess it was an unholy amount of cupcakes. Something like that. The impulse flickered briefly into your head to reveal who you'd been helping, but before you could rise the point, Cameron stretched down on the grass with a cozy sigh. Who? Well, we finally get a little downtime. Deja, how about you? Your roommate grimaced gently, gesturing down at where her heels lay abandoned under the chair. After I was done delegating, Reina asked me to bring care packages to her neighbors to apologize for all the party noise. Man, when Reina plans a party, she plans to kill. Tell me about it. I had to make so many trips back and forth. Hey, check it out, 10 o'clock. My babies! I'm so excited. You glanced casually to one side, spotting two people setting up a volleyball net over on the riverbank. Nearby, a third person stacked spare cases of drinks, establishing the corners of a makeshift court. I hate to say it, but that looks like a safety issue. But they're all adults. Besides, it looks like they know what they're doing. As Deja waved a hand lazily, one of the strangers spun a volleyball in their hands, laughing at something their friends were saying. It certainly did look like they were in their element. Why haven't we ever played volleyball? Ha, that was a joke, right? I'm going to assume it was a joke. Deja's easygoing smile chilled, and you smothered a small chuckle. It's a little fast-paced, huh? Yeah, I don't know if you've ever gotten this about me, if you've forgotten this about me, Cam, but sports and I do not mix. Cameron shrugged absent-mindedly, ripping up a handful of grass to fiddle with. Come on, volleyball's fun. What's so fun about it? All sports are the same. You run around, you sweat, and you go home. It's way more than that. For one thing, the players are in different positions, and everyone's got their own strengths. So you have to build a team first, and then you're down to things like, okay, are you a quick tempo team, or are you built around your libero? Around your what? And then if you're an aggressive team, what happens if your rivals are aggressive? Or what if they're really defensive? Then you've got to adjust on the fly. And the whole time, you've got to keep the ball moving like boom and blam and shoop. Cameron. my Nala got excited along with me with the with Cameron's little rant. Cameron! Is it something about the name Cameron? Hey! Shush! Cameron! Where's this coming from? How come you know so much about volleyball now? Anime. Cameron, that's anime. In real life, I'm gonna sit in the shade and I'm gonna relax. It's just volleyball. At least it's not, I don't know, soccer. You laughed softly to dispel the rising tension, and Deja gave you a sharp look before her expression softened into something calmer. Cameron had caught on as well as they eased off the pressure, turning to you instead with a rueful shrug. Wait, have you actually played before? I haven't. I have actually played volleyball, but not on a professional level where you care about like liberos and stuff. I've played volleyball in the sense that you mostly care about like keeping the ball off of the court, off of the floor, and pass it over to the other side. Like that's the way I've played volleyball. But I'm gonna say I haven't, just so that Elliot teaches me how to. Just so Elliot teaches me how to serve. Okay. I haven't played before. Dang. Maybe we should go try it out sometime? I mean, not today. Maybe fate was listening though, since the next instant, You heard rapid footfalls in soft grass. Running up to you was one of the volleyball players, the one who'd had the ball.
Hey, how's it going?
With a stranger in the mix, Cameron immediately climbed up. Out of the corner of your eye, you noticed them slipping down to sit awkwardly on their hands, shredded glass and all. You and Deja settled smoothly into your respective roles without missing a beat. We're doing fine. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm Elio, he slash him.
Oh, it's Elio. I've been calling him Elio. I've been calling him Elio this whole time. Elio, okay. You learn something new every day. He stuck a hand out. You took it for a brief shake. Nice to meet you, Elio. I'm Ollie. He them pronouns. That's Deja.
She, her, thanks.
And this is Cameron. They them. Cameron meekly nodded, not quite making eye contact as they mustered a small smile.
Nice to meet you all. So hey,
Elio jabbed a thumb over his shoulder, pointing to the volleyball court with a bright grin.
my buddies and I are gearing up for a game, and, well, 2-on-1 isn't exactly an even match.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Any chance you three would want to play? Just for fun, no points. Unless you want them.
At the glint in his eye, you had half a feeling he actually preferred to play for points, no matter what he said. Here was Cameron's golden opportunity, practically falling into your laps. But when you looked at them, Cameron was staring down at their legs, looking a little shaky. You know, can you give us a quick moment?
No prob. You know where to find me.
Elio jogged back to his friends at your beckoning. Deja helped you nudge Cameron up toward the big willow tree, its trailing branches giving you some privacy from the rest of the party. Cameron, are you okay? Yeah, never mind. I changed my mind. Hands fisted in the hem of their hoodie, Cameron kept staring straight down at their feet, all traces of earlier excitement snuffed completely out. Cam, if this is because... No, I don't. I know you don't like sports. Forget I said anything. I got carried away. I don't. It's fine. We can sit. I don't want to play. You and Deja exchanged silent looks. It was never easy seeing Cameron face up like this. They were an effervescent, sincere person, always ready to have fun, but they were also a huge wallflower whose anxiety often forced them to stay on the sidelines at larger events. It was unfortunately very easy to guess that they were mentally kicking themselves for backing down. This time, when you looked at Deja, you made a slightly pleading face. Well, it's a party. Better Reina's backyard than an actual gym. The fact that she was even considering it was a major concession, but one you knew she'd be willing to make. She was a strong-willed person, and you loved her for it, but Deja was never one to crush a friend's wishes outright. The problem was that this particular wish involved physical exertion, which Deja loathed with perfect simplicity. Cameron was already backtracking, and so, as a friend to them both, you merely had to contribute a little change of perspective. How about this? What are the odds we play volleyball today? Deja paused, tilting her head with a thoughtful sound. More importantly, Cameron paused too, and they actually picked up at you, starting to look cautiously interested. 3? 3? Man, could be worse. At least it's not 2. At 33% chance, this is still 33 more than I prefer, but she shrugged gracefully, shedding her veneer of hesitation and sliding her hair back over one shoulder. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. WATO, or WATO. Though we've given you the option to play through Keyframes events as reluctantly as you wish, sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone to enjoy what life has to offer. What are the odds? Watto is a game you, Deja, and Cam play in the name of trying new things. Based on the results of this minigame, your character may participate in a follow-up event. For example, during the barbecue, your character asks Cam to play Watto to determine if the trio should play volleyball. Heads up, we've triggered that moment as an example, but when it's your turn to be prompted, we won't rig the results, we promise. Oh, we've rigged. I read with triggered. We've rigged. There are two ways for Watto to start. You prompt someone to play. A character prompts you. The prompter asks what are the odds of an action that they want to see the prompted do. The prompted gives a number between 1 to 10. The higher the number, the lower the chances. The countdown, and then you the two count down and then say a number between 1 and the response, like example 1 to 5. If they choose the same number, the prompted has to do as what was asked of them. If they didn't, then nothing happens. Okay, so I was actually checking the guide, and it seems I earn more points from Elio if I say I'm but am I actually looking to gain points from Elio? It's alright. I was like, oh, I gain more points from Elio if I say that I know how to play. I don't know. Anyway, let's just keep it. Okay, so Cam, it's you and me. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Please type a number from 1 to 3 and press enter when you're done. 2. Well. Oh, nice. Before they could help themselves, they hopped, finding some of that excitement from earlier as they let a laugh out unbidden. To the side, they just smiled and shook her head. It was impossible to be upset if they were going to be this endearing about it. For the record, you don't have to back down when it comes to us. I know, I just didn't want to push you. It's not fun if I'm the only one who wants to be there. You gonna be okay? They took a breath, then let go of their hoodie, nodding as they lifted their head. Yeah, I wanna try. I have both of you, so it's not as terrifying I think. That's good. Let us know if you need a break. I will. As you moved toward the volleyball net, one of Elio's friends caught sight of you first, lifting an arm in a friendly wave. At that, Elio turned to face you, wearing a wide beaming grin.
Hey, you want to play after all.
Caveat, we're not going to be good, but yes.
That's great! Let's get some quick intros out of the way. Gang, these are our opponents. Opponents, meet the gang.
These are our opponents. Opponents, meet the gang. Not exactly the best introduction, but it's a start. One of the gang was standing off to one side, apparently spacing out, but the other, red-headed with freckles, stepped up with another small wave. In the same movement, they plucked the volleyball out of Elio's hands, ignoring his little sound of protest. I'm Rory. This guy's RA.
Come on. You're not just my RA.
Dude, I love you, I do. But saying your RA is your friend is like asking your parent to take you to prom.
What? No. You're still my friend.
Until your actual buddies get here, sure. And this. They leaned over, looping the third student under their arm and tugging them closer. Is Keegan. I love Keegan, actually. Both of us prefer he, they pronouns, and Keeks uses they a lot more often. Don't take it the wrong way if they don't look at you. He's usually halfway out of whatever's going on. I'm listening. Sometimes you are, buddy. Sometimes you are. Keegan rolled their eyes gently before tilting their head at you. What's up? You actually gain points if you do the if you pick AKA you guys after this game. A better question is what's down AKA you guys after this game.
Oh god. That was painful.
Huh. There is two of you now. I'm so looking forward to this.
You know I can tell when you're being sarcastic.
Can't tell. Me? Sarcastic? Never. Elio swiped quickly for the ball, and Rory. I hate that name, actually. I love the guy, but I hate the name. Give him a simpler name. Rory stuck their arm out of the way before sticking their tongue out and dropping the ball into Elio's waiting hand.
So, simple game of keepy uppy? Or do we want to play for points?
Bum, 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 bum. You can gain points with Elio even if you pick something that's not competitive.
Fair warning though, I'm not bragging, but if we play for real, I'll win.
Oh, actually, I think I can't gain any points from Elio if I don't know how to play. Think the guide is a bit confusing. To be honest with everybody, the guide is a bit confusing. Maybe, possibly. Way to keep your teammates in mind, kiddo.
Okay, you can share in the title, but the crown's still mine.
There was that glint in his eye again, a hint of competitive spirit hidden by that easygoing smile. I'm here to kick ass and eat food, and the food's not ready yet. Elio cocked his head to the side, spinning the volleyball into a tree-colored blur between his hands.
So, we're doing smack talk, huh? That mean you want to play for points?
Let's do it. I decided to play for points without even, like, I normally get a choice, but apparently I'm not getting one this time. Dish's eyes drilled a hole into the back of your head, but you held firm, putting a hand on your hip as you faced Elio with a confident smile. In times like these, it was important not to hesitate. Oop, better get your head in the game, Keegs. Looks like we're playing for keeps. Fun. Elio chuckled at the rumbling deep in Elio chuckled, the sound rumbling deep in his chest as he lowered his head. The next smile was toothier, shadowed by a mix of exuberance and ambition.
Then, why don't we play a full set? First to 25 points wins.
Roger that. You're on.
All right. The first serve's all yours.
Elio lobbed the ball on your hand sending it in a high, slow arc. You caught it with a low oomph, moving to the back line of the court as Elio and Rory and Keegan docked under the net. So, what now? I have to reiterate, I really don't know what I'm doing here. I'll be honest, unless you want me to recap a bunch of anime at you, I'm not gonna be a great teacher here. Jay, that's it, we're screwed. Honestly, how bad can we really be? How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. No, Kev's right. That crown is ours. We're gonna come out of this kings. Let's just focus on having fun. Here. Losing helps with character development, you know. Losing helps with character development. Ha God, oh Bob. I'm gonna choose how bad can we really be. Don't jinx us. Shit always hits the fan when people say that. It's not a jinx, it's optimism.
Hey, you ready yet over there? Or are you guys getting cold feet?
Elliot has stopped in the back half of the side of the court, with Rory in the opposite corner. Keegan idled up front with a much more relaxed posture. Posture? Yeah, posture. Though even his eyes were trailing you. Waiting quietly for you to make a move. You wish. Volleyball schmolleyball. It couldn't be that different from most other sports. There was a ball, there was a net, the ball went over the net, then you scored, right? To get the ball over the net, you had to serve it somehow. You look at your friends, and they both shrugged.
Don't look at
Don't
me.
look at me.
Don't look at me either.
Don't look at me either. Elio, how do I serve? Elio blinked, and before he could help himself, he spluttered a laugh.
What happened to kicking ass?
It's been postponed. Just a little bit. Can you help me?
Okay, I'm heading over.
Elio jogged quickly to stand next to you, holding his hand out for the ball.
Okay, so first things first, position. Whichever hand is your dominant one, you're hitting the ball with it. For me, it's my left. So, for an underhand serve...
He held the ball in front of him with his right hand, showing you the spot on the ball he'd be aiming for with his left.
You're gonna swing like this, and as you reach the ball, just let your other hand slip out of the way. Careful not to hit yourself.
After demonstrating for you with exaggerated slowness, he handed the ball over, gesturing for you to try. You settled in, copying each of his motions as smoothly as you could.
Hold up. Do you mind if I touch you?
I love him. Hello. Hello, Your Honor. I love him. You let him, but not without teasing him first. In what way are we talking here?
You're just like this one friend of mine. But do you?
Nah, go ahead. His hand pressed gently at the back of your shoulder, encouraging you to shift your weight as you turned to mime a serve. As you obliged him, you felt your weight shift smoothly forward to accommodate your swinging arm, and he nodded with a satisfied smile.
Yeah, looks like you've got it. You want to give it a shot?
You did just that, and the ball bounced high over the net right into Rory's hands. Man, if only this was dodgeball.
There you go. Think you got it from there?
Yep, I am now ready to kick your ass.
And we're right back to fighting words. All right. Rory, toss that ball back over. Fight's on.
Quick time events. As in real life, you may find yourself faced with a quick action or choice while playing. QTEs, QTEs in keyframes come in two types: key inputs, and time choices. Time choices require you to select an option from a menu before the time runs out. The key im- the key no, and key inputs challenge you to enter up to 5 directional inputs in a given time limit. An example of the key input prompts is below. Key input results sometimes scale according to how many different inputs you make. Different degrees of success or failure can lead to slightly different results. And so we're gonna save before the QTEs start. While you caught the ball, Elio returned to his side of the court, waving his arms and hooting for you to do your worst. You promptly obeyed by setting up another underhand serve, and there you go. Your fist thumped into the ball with a hearty smack, and it flew neatly over the net, prompting a raucous cheer from Elio as he ran to intercept. Yeah, that's more like it. Here comes the rebound. Cameron scrambled for the return shot with a grin, their own confidence bolstered by yours. With a tap, they sent the ball to Deja, and she just barely managed to knock it back over the net. Tent. Come on, we can do this! After a few more volleys and some near misses, you found a clunky but steadily improving rhythm. Come on, is that all you guys got? You slapped a hand on your thigh, dropping into a half squat as the ball rolled out of bounds on Elio's side again. He laughed openly, backing up into a corner with a shrug. Save your energy, the game's not over yet. This time, he tossed the ball up for a floating serve, and a fraction of a second after his hand connected, the ball slammed into your side of the court, sending up a comical puff of dirt and grass. That could have been my face. 25 points was no walk in the park. The match wore on, and you tried your hardest to keep the gap between your teams as small as possible. It was admittedly difficult since Rory revealed that he was no amateur, that he was no amateur either. With him and Elio trading offense and defense, they really had you scurrying along across the grass. Keegan was, thankfully, a lot more lenient. They never strayed from their spots, saving their energy so they could jump and spike and go idle again. Altogether, the match was fairly even, albeit thanks to different levels of effort. Finally, the game was heading to its natural conclusion. The race was neck to neck. Elio's team was 24 points, just a single point ahead. For all your gusto, Deja and Cameron were starting to tire, and you could feel your own energy flagging. You could feel your own energy flagging. Your legs screamed for a break, and you could feel the pulsing in your thumbs from where you kept bouncing the ball back. How about we call it after this last volley? Oh, thank goodness. I mean, if that's what you want. Cameron psyched themselves up with a fist stuck in the air, and Deja nodded grimly, her eyes closing as she caught her breath. Then let's make it count. Winner takes it all. Man, but we were leading. Not by much. By enough. You ready? Elio launched the final serve and the court plunged into a slow motion. He leaped, arm swinging. His hand met the ball and it sailed directly toward the back line where you stood. Bum, 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 bum. You dropped, knees digging into the dirt as you braced your entire body under the receive. The ball ricocheted off your upper hands, of your forearms, flying high overhead. Cameron looked between Deja and you, then up at the ball. They bit their lip, then reached up, ready to set, and Deja looked at you, pointing a manicured finger at the net. It's up to you. So you rushed forward, ignoring your weary body as you pushed for one final jump. The ball was set, and you pitched your arm back, slamming your palm straight into it with a satisfying stinging smack. Stinging? I think it's stinging. Stinging? Because you get stinged or stung. I'm not sure. Not sure. Anyway, you spiked hard and fast, and Keegan barely got a hand out to deflect the ball at a hopeless angle. No! Elio flung himself down as his fingers brushed against the ball, but it wasn't enough. Both Elio and the volleyball went rolling out of bounds. Oh my gosh, are you alright? Elio sat up, his hat askew, and his face smeared with a little dirt. The damage couldn't be worse than a scratch or two, especially if he was laughing like he was. Shit, you got me! With a hand braced in the grass, he kicked smoothly back upright, tapping the ball with one foot to roll it back within bounds. Quickly, carelessly, he tucked his shirt up by the collar, using the fabric to wipe some of the sweat and dirt off his chin. Good game, good game. We won? It's the really underdog story. We won! Laughing, you braced yourself as Cameron dragged you and Deja in for a hug, and the three of you stumbled and spun around like an ungainly loop-sided vinyl. We did it! See? And wasn't that fun? You didn't want to play earlier. I still will never play a volleyball game again for as long as I live, but I'll admit it was pretty fun. Is this thing on? Butts ready, everyone. Can I get a hell yeah? Like seagulls on a boardwalk, every single person at the party turned. By this point, the self-service tables were a mountain range of loaded trays and foil-wrapped goodies, but all eyes were on Reina, as she stood with a megaphone on one hand and a spatula in the other. As her entire guest list stared at her with hopeful silence, she rolled her eyes and then brandished her spatula high overhead. I said, can I get a hell yeah? We're gonna do whoop 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 because that gives me point with failure. Jesus. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Whoop whoop. It wasn't long before the crowd broke into tears, and just like that, the spell was broken. Alright, kids, you better get going. You're not eating? Oh, trust me, I'm eating. I'm just gonna go look for my partner first. I'm gonna gonna wait for the line to calm down a bit. Oh, okay. Thanks for playing, guys. Yep. If I see your boys, I'll tell them you're in the line, yeah? Rory disappeared in one direction and Keegan drifted away in another. Elio turned to the three of you. Elio turned to the three of you, his smile going a little lopsided as he hazarded a question. So, are you getting in line too? I'd be skipping if I could, so yes. They just SGB Vice President. She was kind of in charge of setup after Reina. Oh, well, let's grab a spot. I told my friends I'd hold their place too, so that's where they'll know to find me. He didn't seem awkward at all about pulling you into the loop, even if you were still relative strangers. If anything, he looked like he was purposefully waiting for you rather than pushing for a spot in the line. I actually love Elio. That's gonna take a while to get used to. I actually love Elio. Him along with Jamie are my favorites. And before you come at me, I don't hate Percy or anything like that. It's just that Percy is too much like me. So it feels like being with myself a little bit. It's kind of weird. Okay. It was nice of him. He was a good guy overall. Again, you just met. This was kind of clingy of him. Honestly, it was cute. It was cute of him to pay so much attention to you. That was nice of him, but it was basic manners. You didn't think much of it. Frankly, you'd play the game together, but you didn't care to hang out with him more than that. I'm gonna go with it. It was cute. This kind of sweet automatic consideration made him very endearing, even if he'd shown you he was just this friendly by default. You couldn't help but smile. Alright, let's do it. Quickly, you hustled over, bunching together in between the other students, waiting excitedly for their turn. Elio turned to and fro in tiptoes, searching the crowds before he dropped back down with a shrug. Well, if they're not here when we get up there, I'll just grab a little extra of everything. Only a little extra? Elio jolted forward as someone thumped a flat palm between his shoulders. Whoa! There you are! Leaning over his shoulder was a familiar stranger with dark hair, their head tilting as they leveled an easy smirk at the rest of you. When their eyes met yours, they lingered and the smirk widened a centimeter. Hey you! Huh? What were the odds? You grinned, lifting a hand in a small wave. Hey, Percy, you know Ollie? We've met. Hi, by the way. Percy, he, him. Deja, she, her, and this is Cameron, they, them. You've met Ollie and you know them because... You can feel Deja and Cameron staring at you, and you shuffled your feet, trying to find the simplest explanation possible. Okay, so this is the cool thing. During my last video, I said that you could do a cool thing if you hit that you met Percy. So this is a cool thing. You made up a story about how you met. I haven't ever done this, so I don't know what that's gonna be like. Oh, he stole my pen in 6th grade, and I never forgave him for it. Can you blame me? It was the kind with different colored inks. Wait. Ollie went to the same middle school as us? Damn, that didn't even last 10 seconds. Hey, for real though, sorry about earlier. I wouldn't, With a gentle clap, he brought his hands together, bending forward slightly as his smirk was replaced by a genuinely apologetic smile. I know I was really joking around and maybe you thought it was funny, in which case, it's all good, but I'm still gonna apologize. I usually don't go that far when I'm meeting new people. Well, actually, I do. Which one is it? I just don't really think if I think I won't meet someone again. It's a bad habit, and I'll own up to that. Whatever impression you have of me, I can only say I'm not like that at all, and I'm not like that all the time. No apologies necessary, it was a fun conversation. Never hurts to make sure. It's hard to believe, but sometimes people do get fed up with me. As you reached the front of the line, Elio started passing paper plates down to each of you, looking around one more time as he did. James not with you? So, God, that was so far back. But I want to go back and give Deja and Cam the whole story. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Who would have known the consequences of my actions? Who would have known the consequences of my actions came to bite me? Okay, so this is the one that I need to load. Okay, so we're gonna skip. I'm gonna skip the shit out of this. Hey, why not tell them about that actually? Well, I ran into someone on the way over. From where? No, I mean, like, I ran into someone. I didn't know them. You crashed, ran? Yes, well, I didn't fall over, but they did. LMAO, what happened? That it wasn't good. I was in the way and they couldn't stop their scooter on time, so they ran into a hedge. Oh, the poor campus foliage. But they were okay, right? Then they turned it into a whole rom-com thing, like really big on the sappy jokes, you know? Uh-huh. What was that for? What? What did I say? You get those mock smiles off your faces. You leaned forward to drum your hands petulantly on their seats, and Deja laughed, unlocking her phone as she leaned away. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, did you get a name? Camera wiggled their eyebrows enticingly in the rearview mirror, and you scoffed. Your friends weren't the biggest gossips, but they could still be quite nosy in their own right. Cam's curiosity was born of genuine interest, wanting to know for knowing's sake, but Deja wanted to appraise. It was at the very least, she'd make it heard she'd make it heard whether she thought someone was bad news. She had a good radar for bullshit, no matter the context. Crappy sales deals disintegrated under her discerning eye, and anyone with ill intent could look forward to the same. Alas, no it didn't. What? Boo. Yeah, how's Deja going to do any internet still thing now? Still thing? I thought it was like sleuthing. I thought that was the word that they used to use. But anyways, maybe it's a term that I don't know. We just have to run into them again. In the intervening lull, you mulled over that stranger one last time. It was normal to share an encounter like that. You told Deja and Cam practically everything. Yeah, there'd been no chance that you would keep a story like that from your friends. It was all par for the course. Well, thanks for picking me up anyway. Of course, we can't miss out today. Okay, so already did this. Skip. If they accepted my close friends, skip. The very depths of the heart, skip. You joined in the celebration, skip. When she put it that way, maybe blah blah blah, skip. Is there something I should be looking out for specifically? Skip. This is me insisting. What can I do? Skip. You didn't know, but you pretended otherwise. Skip. That cupcake had an attitude.
Maybe.
Skip. I want to hear your voice, but I also need to move on. Need to get back to where I was, man. I can love you, Jamie, but I can hear your voice later. And you made sure to thank him. Skip. There had to be a reason. Skip. You didn't mention Jamie. Skip. There was a tactful way to address this. Skip. This was prime time for a little prank. You shrieked as loud as you could. That man was unfairly hot. I'm gonna let's do. Where even am I? I've backtracked so far back. I'm not even sure like where the fuck I am, honestly. Being honest with everybody. But anyways, let's do the I've played before. See how that plays out with Leo's voice. I wanna hear like what he says in that case. Oh, then could you play with me sometime? I mean, not today. Maybe Fate was listening. Skip. Oh, fuck. There's no backlog. Hold that thought. Okay, let's say I haven't played before yet.
Hey, how's it going?
That's interesting. Did they play this song before? God, and I replaced that fucking scene, didn't I? I don't. This is Elia's song, but I didn't at all realize. I didn't at all notice the change in song. Um. Um. If I load, if I load and I say no fuck. If I load and I say I haven't played before.
Hey, how's it going?
So yeah, his song always plays. I didn't know it is on. Where you know? I was focused on other things, I guess. I played before. Okay, so skip. Auto. Type 2.
Oh god. That was painful.
I know. Sorry. A blocker or a king. What? Cam, we have like 3 people. A king? Yeah, wait, no, that was an anime thing. That's a J. That's it. We're screwed. So for this one, I want to choose. Hey, you've still got me. Ollie, there's no way you're carrying both Cameron and mine. Novice. Novice? 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 I think it's Novice. Novice is asses. Novice asses. If they try really hard, then maybe?
Hey, you ready yet over there? Or are you guys getting cold feet?
Elio was stooped in the back half of his side of the court, with Rory opposite corner, blah blah blah. You wish. Quickly, you coupled together a rough strategy. Your friends could be closer to the net. Your friends could be closer to the net. Deja to set and Cameron to block and spike. You'd have to cover the rest on your own. Standing at the back line, you tossed the ball up once, then twice, testing its weight, then shifted your weight into a familiar stance. The ball spun a little in your grasp, and as you search for the right grip.
Looks like someone knows how to play.
I wanna choose the next one. Oh, I'm apparently not playing. Oh, okay. So I am playing competitive. Okay. A little. I'll be nice. Hey, no you don't. As Elias RA, I demand you put him in the ground.
What he said. But also, Rory, what the hell?
Okay, QTEs. Taking a small running start, you lobbed the ball straight up, caught it, and it caught a spin, rotating as it fell, and bum bum bum. Your hand met the ball with a hearty smack, and it flew neatly over the net, spinning furiously as it plunged toward the ground. For all his eagerness, Elio twisted too far as he moved to receive, and the ball smacked cleanly off his bicep, bouncing clear out of bounds.
Holy shit! Nice kill!
Thank you. I cannot actually. I do actually know how to play volleyball, but I don't know how to serve. I don't know yet how to serve from the top. I'm too small, and whenever I try to like spike serve, it tends to hit the net because I'm too small and I cannot jump high enough to get it into a height to pass over the net. So I'm always like the underserved type of bitch. Cameron spun for a high five, introversion completely forgotten as they let out a victorious scream. Deja even clapped for you a few times, her earlier reluctance replaced by a small satisfied smirk. So, 1-0? Elio laughed easily as he returned to the court, volleyball tucked safely under one arm.
Okay. I admit you got me there. Now, let me even the score.
Then the grin on his face sharpened, and without waiting another second, he tossed the ball for a serve and rushed forward. His arm came down like a warhammer. If your serve had sounded like a smack, his was a booming crack of sheer force, and the ball flashed by you in a blur, slamming into the grass right in front of the boundary line.
Oh no.
Oh no. There it is. Come on, Elio. Come on, Elio. I thought you were going to give them a fighting chance.
Just our luck. Our first volleyball game is against literal, actual Hercules.
Little actual Hercules. It's, no, we've got this.
Do we, bestie? Do we?
Yes, we do. I promise we do. After a few more volleys and some near misses, you found a clunky but steadily improving rhythm. I think we can skip now. Okay. Actually, we're behind a point. Let's see. Cameron psyched themselves up. Okay, so this was a new line, but it skipped it. Finally, the game was heading towards its natural conclusion. The race was neck and neck. Your team was sitting at 24 points, just a single point ahead. This is a new line, but it skipped it for some reason. Dropping into half squat as well. Anyway, this is a new line, but it missed it for some reason. I'm gonna report that. Actually, that's a bug. You should have shown this line. Okay, there you go. Actually, we're behind by a point. Shh, they don't know that. I do. You ready? Elio launched the final serve, and the court plunged into slow motion. He leaped, arm swinging, his hand met the ball, and it sailed directly toward the back line where you stood. Bum 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 bum. You dropped, knees digging. Ricocheted of your forearms, flying high. Pointed a manicured nail at the net. It was up to you. You rushed forward. You spiked hard and fast. Keegan barely got a hand out to deflect at a hopeless angle. No! Oh my gosh, are you alright? See, you got me. The hand brace on the grass. Good game. We won. It's a real underdog story, I think. Boop boop. Jing jing jing. It was honestly good of him. Jing jing jing. As opposed to your scooter story from earlier. Here we are. I suppose this is your scooter story from earlier. Your scooter story, huh? You already know Percy. Yep, that's me. Him. So, sounds like you heard what happened? More or less, something about a rom-com? Deja. Well, in any case, I'm Deja, she, her, this is Cameron, they, them, and you've met Ollie. He, them, by the way. Hey, for real though, sorry about earlier. Huh? So we already read those. Jamie's not with you? We found a good out of the way spot to eat, so he's holding onto it. It's just us on food duty. Wait, Jamie as in... You let the question slip before you could think about it, and both Percy and Elio looked at you. Probably the one you're thinking about, yeah. It was just coincidence after coincidence, wasn't it? Your luck today was something else. Still, you had enough presence of mind to know that what you said mattered here, especially if you didn't want to tip everyone within earshot off. With a small shrug, you looked down, picking up a pair of tongs and sliding a few kebabs onto your plate. Oh, I only meant, Reina asked me to help him out earlier. Jamie's here? I asked him if he would be, but he didn't even know the barbecue was happening. Percy and Elio underwent two reactions in quick succession. Cautious curiosity at your explanation, and then blank undisguised shocked at Cameron's comment. A tomato slice slid off Elio's half-assembled hamburger, and without looking, Percy held out one of his plates to catch it. You asked? Like in a conversation? Wait, now I need to double check. Jamie as in Porter? Well, sorry, it would be more like Jamie as in Porter? Percy lowered his voice to a whisper, and Cameron hesitated before nodding. You and your roommate twisted around to look at them with quizzical expressions. Since when did you know Jamie Porter? Well, I mean, we've talked. I don't know if we're friends, but I see him around campus sometimes. That was unexpected. Cameron had told you before that prior to meeting you and Deja, they'd kept their head in their books, driving to and from school with barely a thought for social interaction. But now it was coming out that they did know someone else on campus. Did that mean Jamie was in the same program as you? Or did Cameron have some extracurriculars they hadn't told you about? Huh. Percy glanced at Elio, and Elio glanced at Percy. A look passed between them, reminding you of the way you, Deja, and Cam sometimes communicated with your expressions alone. Don't get us wrong, that's totally fine. We were just surprised, that's all. Yeah, no offense, but Jamie hasn't made another friend since we met him. We thought he didn't know how. We thought he didn't know how. Well, that's a little. Yeah, can't say I haven't thought that sometimes. Not the sociable type? Let's put it that way, sure. But if you two already know him, wanna eat together? Cameron balked a little, but Deja pressed a drink cup and a napkin to their hand, taking the chance to give them a small, encouraging smile. Sure? Yeah, if you don't mind? Why not? Sweet. Percy, is that enough food? Oh shit, hang on, let me just... You were loaded up and clear of the tables in a few more minutes, chatting idly as Percy led you on a long circuitous route around the yard. Thanks to the absolute abundance of food, people barely paid you any attention, so you wound all the way back to the riverbank. It turned out the out-of-the-way spot was the fire pit. The long branches of the willow tree cast fluttering shadows over the two chairs there, one of which was already occupied. Oh, hello, Cameron. Jamie, glad you made it. Cameron bounced forward with uncharacteristic ease, and Jamie tipped his head to one side, eyes gaining the faintest of twinkles. He didn't quite smile, and in fact, as Percy ambled over to drop a plate into his hand, he even dared to frown. What's this? Exactly what you asked me for. Whatever I'm having. Percy dropped down to balance himself on the armchair of Jamie's seat, and Elio settled on the edge of the fire pit with a soft chuckle. You and your friends arranged yourself almost in a mirror image, though Cameron sat on the grass so they could use the fire pit's stone border as a table. Deja tucked herself cross-legged into the remaining chair, and you turned sideways on the arm. So, we hear you've got some friends you want to introduce to us. Where? Jamie blinked, and when he didn't give up the joke, Percy rolled his eyes and stabbed his fork into a chunk of grilled chicken. Never mind, I was going to make you introduce us to Cameron and Ollie. That sounds unnecessary, but hello. He nodded to Deja, and she lifted her drink in a tiny toast before taking a sip. Hi, Deja, she here. I know you already. Sure. They left it at that, and as you tucked into your meals, Deja changed the subject, tapping her fork thoughtfully against her plate. Ilio, you go to a lot of campus events, don't you? Yeah, but how do you know? I just remembered who you are. In the SG, we call you Galileo. You're the one who draws stars all over your feedback forms. Aww. What? I fill out the rest of the forms too. You don't have to defend yourself, man. I never do them. You don't? Deja fixed Percy with a cool look, and Cameron coughed into their fist. Deja's on the board. Oh, I mean, I'm so very looking forward to filling out a form later. In your defense, those forms are really long. Remind me to look over your shoulder later when we're handing those out. You retreated into your plate with a mumble, and Jamie chose then to reach over, sliding a patty and a half bun onto Elia's plate. Oh, this is going straight into my quadruple decker. Flipping the new additions up on top of his already teetering burger, Elio squished the whole thing together, ignoring the condiments that oozed over his fingers, and managed in one massive bite. That does not sound appealing, I'm gonna be honest with everybody here. That's genuinely terrifying, I would agree. I've seen him accomplish worse. Are you not that hungry? Why? I was cooking on the wrong thing. Jamie lifted a kebab, using his fork to push the skewered components free. I'm usually a light eater, as Percy knows. Again, you told me to get you what I'm getting, I get you what I'm getting. Percy spoke with a hand to his mouth, shielding you all from any social mishaps as he finished chewing. Once he was done, he pointed his emptied skewer, flicking it between Jamie and Cameron. And hey, don't think you're not explaining how you know each other. The public wants to know. It's me, I'm the public. What a coincidence, I'm also the public. My middle name is in fact the public. What's the story? Oh, that's actually a song. Or I think it's a mix of all three. I think it's a mix of all three, and they don't at all sound bad. That's so quirky. That's so interesting and so nice, actually. Okay. I would be like, I mean, I do want to know if you're okay telling. Let's be funny. Let's be funny just for the fuck of it. Cameron pressed her lips together, picking at the tap of a canned drink they set aside. It's really not that much to talk about. They looked at Jamie and he shrugged lightly, contributing the barest of explanations. Bake sale, second year. Well, that narrows it down to approximately a full year of bake sales, if your paperwork is right. Have fun figuring out which one it was. All I've figured out so far is you're both third-year students. Jamie and Cameron nodded, and Deja twirled her finger to indicate everyone else. And the rest of us are all second years? Yep, astrophysics major. Biology, trying for a minor in math. Urban and environmental planning. And Cam and I are both in poli-sci, but Cam's also majoring in philosophy. Philosophy. Percy, isn't that your current bet? Sure is. The two of them looked pointedly at Jamie, who calmly took another bite of salad. Maybe that's how they met. I'm not telling. Why? What's your major, Jamie? He won't tell us. We literally live with him, and we still don't know. Oh, my meds. We literally live with him, and we still don't know. You weren't sure which half of that to focus on. The fact that these three were roommates, or the sudden emphasis on the mystery that was Jamie Porter. If I had to guess, I'd say some kind of engineering? Pre-med track? He shook his head twice in a row. Forensic science? Nope. He said that every time. We'll get him one of these days. Is there any option that gives me something funnier? Biology? No. I think it's just any option that I choose will get me a nope. Let's go with something that actually matches him. I go with linguistics. Nope. It says that every time. We'll get him one of these days. Can't you just look at his homework or... By now, the megaphone's whine and crackle was a familiar sound. One moment. I need to take my stuff. Oh. Pause. Pause. I don't know what's going on. my everything is going crazy. One moment. Okay, we're back. So actually, I received the package, and someone was calling me, and my computer was sort of going crazy because of it. Let's hope it doesn't. That'll teach me. To set my stuff and to not disturb, I guess. By now, the megaphone's whine and crackle was a familiar sound, and as the music dimmed, Reina hopped onto her porch with a smile and a wave. Hey all, hope everyone's having a phone time. When her backyard erupted into cheers, Reina giggled and curled a lock of hair behind her ear. Glad to hear it. I have an announcement to make. As you know, I am your SUB president, and thus, it may surprise none of you to hear that today's party is a test run for a new yearly event. Welcome to the Student Government Scavenger Hunt. Murmurs swept through the crowd, and heads turned back and forth as people tried to guess where the game would take place. Drinks, snacks, and lawn games were scattered all over the place by now. It was impossible to tell whether anything was hidden amidst the clutter. If you're busy eating or chilling out, feel free to keep doing that. But I'm pleased to say we have a prize up for grabs, set aside from our funding for this year. You can form teams of up to 3, and the prize will be evenly split. Be the first to bring me all the items on our list, and you will win $500. The silence collapsed instantly into a storm of hoops, howls, and downright feral screeches. In the chaos, you traded glances with Deja and Cameron. It was time. You know what we must do? Win! Not if we find everything first. Elia grinned widely, looking at the three of you as he made a questioning gesture. You nodded in return, and he leaned quickly across the fire pit, stacking everyone's empty plates and cups before hopping up to find the trash can. While he scampered off, Percy stood to stretch leisurely, tugging at a lock of Jamie's hair and scuttling aside to avoid a light sweat. Well, well, well. Looks like we'll be the bitter rivals for a little bit. We'll be bitter rivals for a little bit. It looks that way, yes. And just like that, the gauntlet was thrown. Elio had shown his competitive spirit during volleyball game, but now that a cash prize was on the line, it was his turn to see how driven Deja could be. Strategy? We split up, divide and conquer. Who's gonna go where? Teams, get ready. Your targets are a chickadee plushie, a school T-shirt, and a flag with the board's initials on it. Your time starts now. Go, go, go! Arena lifted an air horn with her other hand, effectively muting any attempts to formulate a plan with a long ear-splitting honk. Ilya pelted away at once, while Percy pulled Jamie from his chair and ushered him in another direction. You glanced at your friends. You had mere seconds to decide how'd you do this. We search, then we meet back by the porch, Holly? I was gonna search inside the house because that's where Jamie is. I'm going inside. Then I'll stay here. Cam, wanna go out front? They bounced up and down on the balls of their feet, with their wallflower inclinations pushed aside for a chance to scramble, scoot, and search. Go get him, Tiger. For money! Cameron sprinted off, and Deja gave you a quick salute as you ran for the house's back door. Even if there was a cash prize on the line, this was still Reina's house, and people were moving a little more carefully inside than out in the yard. You wandered quickly through the dining room, pausing as you reached the kitchen. The cupcakes you'd been decorating were all still here. Maybe they were supposed to be brought out once the game was over? Grabbing dessert while everyone's distracted? What? I'd never. You glanced over your shoulder, noting the dry smile hidden in Jamie's cool expression as he followed you in. Maybe since you'd helped him decorate, he knew you weren't really that distracted by the cupcakes, or by him. What about you? Double-checking your work? He tilted his head non-committally, stepping aside and reaching up to open a cupboard. I'm multitasking. Uh-huh. The scavenger hunt. Is that not what you're doing? Oh, right. You swiveled quickly away, tearing your eyes from his back and shoulders to open up a few cabinets. Any secret hiding spots in the kitchen you want to share? You tell me. Your friend is on the board, isn't she? You grunted as you jumped to wave your hand around the top shelf of the pantry. Yeah, but Reina was the only one in charge for the scavenger hunt. Plus, you were in here a lot longer than I was. It's my first time at Reina's house. I keep on saying Deja's house. It's not. It's Reina's. I was too busy making cupcakes to Snoop. You both went silent, circling the kitchen in opposite directions as you continued what was starting to look like a fruitless search. If Reina has shuffled the scavenger hunt during the last hour or so of party prep, it didn't seem likely she'd have put most of the items in the house. The doors had been locked after all, and she'd been out in the backyard the entire time. But there was that tiny window of time after she'd sent you to the grill and before she announced the party was starting. Could she have sneaked into her house for a last minute maneuver? Jamie? Yes? What did you do after you finished decorating? Rested for a while before Reina came in and asked me to relocate. Why? Your eyes fell on the oven, which by now was completely cooled. No reason. Darting to the oven, you janked the door down, shoved your hand in, seizing one of the three plushies sitting in a baking dish within. Aha! What? Jamie frantically slammed the fridge shut, having barely found the plushie of his own. But you were faster as you wheeled around, tucked the chickadee under your arm like a football, and launched for the back door. You were a mere instant before you made it into the dining room. Something flashed in front of you and bounced off the wall, cutting you off your escape. A wooden spoon? Hey, those are Reina's! She doesn't have to know. Jamie's hand flicked up and you caught the spatula he tossed at you. Though, since you helped me earlier, I'll make this a fair fight. Well then, you're asking for it. Clack, 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 clack. The sound of two spatulas knocking harmlessly off each other echoed through the echoed through the kitchen. It was ridiculous, of course. Bum bum bum. But with each strike, you inched forward until Jamie was prompted to take a more ambitious swing. Instantly, you ducked, and as he teetered off balance, you spun to bolt for the door once more. Bum 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 bum. Jamie was across the kitchen and on your heels in a flash, but you kept your cool, throwing the back door open, jumping through, and tossing your plushie to Reina. Here, I got it! That is what I'm talking about! We did it! Deja and Cameron were already there, throwing a flag and a t-shirt into the air with excited shouts. Reina giggled, raising her air horn and obliging you with a quick honk. The game's over. That's game over, everyone. Yes! The sheer volume of Deja's victory screech knocked you and Cameron right into a bout of hysterical laughter, and even Reina struggled to keep a straight face as she held up a sealed envelope. Alright, I guess since you've earned it, your spoils. The envelope was open as soon as it met Deja's hand, and as she danced down the porch steps, she pulled out a handful of crisp bills, slapping them straight into Cameron's hand. The rest went up into the sky to flutter down over your heads. Deja laughed more giddily than you'd ever heard her, and you couldn't help but join in. Boo! At least be humble about it. Can't hear you. Busy gloating. Gloating, bragging, rejoicing. All of the above. Percy, Jamie, and Elio stood to one side, watching with various degrees of amusement as you transitioned from jumping and screaming to picking up all the bills off the ground. Somehow, I thought $500 would be like a lot more than this. It's all in larger dimensions. All perfectly spendable, of course, and ooh, we're gonna spend it. I'm buying you both cars. We're gonna have matching cars. But you give us rides all the time. I don't hate giving you rides, but I'll say it again. Matching cars. What about parking or the environment? We have a decent transit system. That's actually the problem with most cities. Alright, I get it. Cameron threw a hand up in defeat, fanning themselves huffily with their handful of prize money. But we'll buy you a city instead, one close by, so we can visit. I didn't even know it was possible to debate this much over prize money. Your fiercest rivals of the day strolled over with varying degrees of enthusiasm, Elio chuckling as he looked peaceably between you and your friends. I would have just put it into savings, I think. Or you'd be ordering takeout. Where'd you find that bird anyway? In the oven. Ha! Just like Thanksgiving. The adrenaline of the scavenger hunt wore away at last, and as all of you slipped into casual banter, Deja looked down at the refilled envelope in her hands with pursed lips. I should recount all of this, actually. Yeah, I think there's some grass in there now, too. Wanna sit? Then, finally, the festivities began to wind down. Evening crept closer, and lights strung through the yard flickered on to replace the dwindling sunlight. Comforted by the softness of the spring breeze, you stretched out your legs on the lawn, leaned back into your hands as you listened to the conversations around you. No. You stretched out your legs on the lawn, leaned back onto your hands as you listened to the conversations around you. You mind if I hand you your share later? Yeah, there's no rush. In the car, maybe? Cameron reappeared and flopped down next to you, having disappeared to spirit an entire stack of fully packed Tupperware into the car. We're all set, but I'm good to keep hanging out. I told my parents they didn't have to wait up. It's been a lot. I wouldn't mind a little more time on my feet. Deja rolled her head slowly back and forth, and gravity pulled her braids back as she stretched. You took her cue to relax, and as you scanned the gradually emptying yard, you felt your shoulders sloping down with the weight of a day well spent. It'd been more fun than you'd expected, and you'd met some new people through a series of coincidences that strung you all together here, below the willow tree in Reina's backyard. Somehow, by a handful of chance events, you'd ended up with 3 new acquaintances and a collection of new, colorful memories. You couldn't help but wonder what was next. Do you guys have any big plans after this? Well, we're definitely not about to steal that prize money from you. What could possibly convince any of you to do that? Whether or not I can make a distraction? Elio. Oh no, you sound disappointed in me. Don't do me like that, Ollie. With Elio's help withdrawn, Percy made a harmless pass at the envelope, still in Deja's lap. She brushed his hand away with a flick of her wrist. Laughter rippled through your group, and Elio leaned away from his roommate as Percy rolled his eyes and smacked him in the arm. Do you 3 live nearby? Ollie and I Ollie and I are on campus. Camp commutes from further out. That's cool. We're on campus most of the time too. Kinda weird we haven't run into each other at events before. Well, it was just Elio early on. This is kinda new for us too. But it's been fun hanging out. It'd be dope if we kept in touch for, the next party or whatever comes up. Elio dug his phone out of his pocket, unlocked it, and held it out. After a bit of self-conscious hesitation entered his posture, and he smiled a little nervously as his arm lowered. I mean, only if you're down for it. No pressure, seriously. So he said, but giving your number to Elio? He was actually pretty cute. You might have a little crush on him. We're gonna save here, so I don't have to replay through all of everything. And we're gonna do friend. Actually, I'm gonna save this earlier on, right in this place where I didn't say Percy was cute. We're gonna go with this. Okay. No, where was I? Was the newest one? Here. Oh, I already saved it. Whoopsies. Well, anyway. You wouldn't mind hanging out with him again. He could be a new friend. He was a sweetheart from the way he treated new friends to the way he treated his old ones. He'd already been charming from the start, and your impression of that hadn't changed in the least. Sure, no problem. Reaching out, you quickly added your number to Elio's contacts, then handed his phone to Deja to continue the exchange. Guess we'll be seeing a lot more of each other then. You think so? When Elio says he wants to make plans, he usually makes good on them. And those plans all involve you? Oh, they've got to. I'm his favorite. The prospect of hanging out with Percy more was a little different. You weren't sure what you think of him, really. Exciting. He'd be fun to spend more time with. Embarrassing. You had a tiny crush on him and hoped he wouldn't notice. Let's go with friends. Honestly, he was way funnier than you'd expected him to be. He had a kind of charisma that drew you in. Immature jokes aside. Or rather, the bad jokes were a bonus. While numbers were traded, you noticed Jamie sitting quietly back. He didn't seem intent on joining in, but it was easy to guess why. You couldn't imagine the campus boyfriend giving out his contact info quite so freely, but Percy leaned against him with a quiet question, and he didn't refuse right away. His faith in his friends seemed to buoy. I think it's boy. Seemed to buoy. It's just that in Spanish it said boya. So it's kind of hard for me to guess how that like it's a weird word to say for me. I keep on confusing the pronunciation. I think it's boy. His friends seem to buoy his thoughts, and he. Why is it boy? I think it's boy. Another edition of Talos gets distracted into looking up what the fuck is the pronunciation of some weird word. Boy. Pronunciation. Yeah, it's boy, it seems.
Boy.
Yeah, it is boy. Ha. Knew it. Anyway. Seemed to buoy his doubts, and he nodded a little, granting silent permission for his number to be included in the group chat. That was pretty normal. This seemed like the most you could expect from him. As unlikely as it seemed, you did hope you could be friends with him. That was lucky for you, or maybe unlucky. You already knew you had a little crush on him. So in case it wasn't obvious to anybody, I'm gonna romance Jamie in this first run. Afterwards will be Elio and then Percy, in that order. The rumors didn't even do him justice. Everyone said he was mysterious, but when he was around Percy or Elio, or Cameron even, he lit up in his own quiet, delicate way. You couldn't help but linger on him in more ways than one. Almost as soon as Elio had his phone back, your phone pinged with a new text. Hey guys! Hi! LMAO, hi, this is Percy. I'm going to guess that's Cam. So the other number is Deja. Good guess. Jamie, you have to say something so they know which number is you. Hi! Oh, I actually have more... Oops, time to redo this thing. I somehow ended up with more affection with Elio than I thought I would. That's so weird. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Sorry, Leo. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that. Loading will lose unsafe progress. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Okay, let's go. I haven't played before. Skip. Bro, I already read this. Okay, skip. Thank you. We're gonna do one.
Oh god. That was painful.
Skip. Honestly, how bad can it really be? How bad can I be? You let him, but not before teasing him. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Whoop whoop. Dum dum. Honestly, that was good. Let's choose a different one. You were curious, but you weren't gonna add more pressure to that. You sat in simple silence, waiting to see which way the conversation would go. Cameron pressed her lips together, picking a tab of a canned drink they'd set aside. Anyways, the same answer. I think I chose linguistics for him. You search inside the house. Dun, dun. Oh yeah. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Okay. So let's save one more time. Where did I save this? Here. Save. You wouldn't mind hanging out. It was good to be friends with. Exciting. It was good to be friends with. You had a little crush on him. Elio again? Seriously? Elio, stop. Elio, stop. Stop, Elio. I'm trying to romance your best friend, not you. Load. Haven't played before. Okay, so let's choose other things then. Let's choose entirely different things then. Bum 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 bum. Dum dum. Oh, a smartass. A smartass. Nice.
To be fair, you did walk right into that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. What is it? What is it? But anyway, Elio said quickly for the ball. Bling. Oh, so I get to choose whether I'm competitive or not. Fortunately for him, you were hoping for something a bit more casual. What did Cameron and Deja think?
I'd rather we keep it casual. We haven't played before, but don't.
I hear ya.
Booyah, booyah.
Sure, we can play a short again too. Say 15 points.
I'd rather we keep it casual. We haven't played before, but don't go too easy on us. That'd be the meaning. I hear ya. Shorter game, 15 points. But before you ask, he will still count points, even if we're just fucking around. It's a reflex.
It is indeed a reflex, but really, there's no pressure.
That sounds doable.
All right, the
doable.
first serve's all yours.
That was a quote from Our Life. Baxter's does that. That sounds doable, sort of. All right then, sir. First serve is all yours. Oh, yeah. Ilya lobbed the ball over. Bing. Almost got back up here, baby.
Ready whenever you are.
Kian and Rory were close to the net, relaxed and eagerly watching you for your next move. Just a sec. And volleyball, volleyball.
Oh, do you not? Here, I'll show you.
Elio jogged quickly. Bum bum. You let him out without teasing. Got it, thanks.
Then, Rory, toss that ball back over. Let's have fun, everyone.
Okay. Bum bum bum. What am I doing? After a few more volleys, some near misses, you find a clunky but steadily improving rhythm. That was largely thanks to the other team giving you as much leeway as they could. Even then, you had your fair share of close calls. Wait, watch out, Cameron! Nah, I got it. Rah! Go long! Go very, very long. The mood was light, and that meant no matter how badly you fumbled, everyone stayed in relatively good spirits. Elio did most of the running on his side, keeping the energy up as he traded offense and defense with Rory. Keegan was thankfully a lot more lenient. I already read this one. Finally, the game was heading towards its natural conclusion. The enticing aroma of grilled food was starting to get really distracting, and you could tell you weren't the only one sniffing hopefully at the air. God help me, this volleyball's starting to look like a delicious grilled onion. Onion. A whole onion? Yeah, all charred on the outside and sweet on the inside. Okay, okay. How about we call it after this last volley? Yeah, sure. Then we can all get some food. There was a weary chorus of agreement, and Elio laughed, stepping back as he prepared to serve. You think they have dip? I mean, yeah, what kind of party doesn't have dip? No, I mean like the layer stuff you have to make. 7 layers, 12 layers. Hey, focus up, guys. Also, 12 layers is too many layers, Rory. Everyone ready? Elio launched into the final serve, and I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna fumble up this thing so I lose the game. I think my problems is that I've been winning. It was as if you were moving through water. Muscles wailed in protest, and you could hear the echoed sound of your friends' voices as you caught across the grass. The sun winked at you from behind the cover of the clouds, and you positioned your hands just beneath the ball. But you misjudged the distance, and you'd arrived a moment too late, and the ball bounced recklessly to one side, where Deja smacked it clumsily over the net. Elio dove, managing to bump the ball up just in time, tipping it over the net by the barest centimeter, where it thudded to the ground to secure his team's victory. Let's go, gang! Let's go! Elio bellowed, charging his teammates for a series of loud, energetic high fives. Ow! Ouch! Ow! My hands! My poor volleyball tender hands! Cameron strode up beside you, leaning on your shoulder while Deja walked up on your other side. They've outpowered friendship us. Impossible. That's the one thing we can lose. I know, but it's better to say that they're better friends than we are than to say they're just really that we're just really uncoordinated. Deja snorted, and the three of you watched as the others held hands and skipped around in a circle. Keegan did look like like they were being dragged along, but Rory and Elio were having a grand old time. Next time, we're challenging them at checkers. At least I'm good at checkers. Is this thing on, and we're gonna choose Hell Yeah, Reina. Hell yeah. It wasn't long before the crowd broke into cheers and blah 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 blah. Maybe the issue here is that I keep choosing his cute here. Well, supposedly this doesn't give like points. Supposedly. Well, not much I can do. Wait. Let's not that. Let's I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna go to Auto because I should have. Yeah, here it is. We're gonna go load. Here it is. And we're gonna save this on here. We're gonna save this here. There you are. So let's choose. That was pretty nice of him. He was a good guy overall. He wasn't the only friendly stranger on campus, of course, and you'd only just met. That made it particularly sweet that he decided you were worth it, so much of his time and attention. Yeah, sure, that sounds great. Quickly, you hustled over, bunching together in between the other students, waiting excitedly for their turn. Elio turned to and fro on tiptoes, searching the crowds before he dropped back down with a shrug. Yeah, I already read this. Here it is. Skip. You were curious, but blah blah. Linguistics. Blah blah blah. I searched inside the house. $500. $500. Jamie and Percy stood to the side. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm on a good path by now. Do you guys have any big plans after this? Watching Percy steal your prize money, I suppose. What? Turning around, you saw Percy wiggling his fingers, making a harmless pass at the envelope still in Deja's lap. Laughter rippled through the group at the collective realization, and Jamie's soft chuckle ebbed in your periphery with like a wave against sand. You wouldn't let him do that, would you? It depends on how well he can persuade me to turn a blind eye. And if he can't, then I'll consider warning you ahead of time. Do you three live nearby? Bling. So this is Elio. This is Elio. You wouldn't mind being his friend. Frankly, if he hadn't asked, you might have. It wasn't often you just clicked with people you met at campus events, but Elio had passed the standard with flying colors. Sure, no problem. Reaching out, you quickly added your number to Elio's contacts, then passed them blah 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 blah. Exciting, he'd be fun to spend time with. Honestly, he was way funnier than you expected him to be. Lucky for you, you had a little crush on him. Okay, yeah, we got it! Finally got Jamie's text message. So the issue is that Elio is rigged to get far more points if you win the volleyball game. Okay, so we're gonna save. Well, I'm gonna need to backtrack anyway. Whatever. If I'm gonna backtrack, might as well backtrack. I might as well backtrack to like the start of the game. It's alright. Okay, so Jamie. Hello, Ollie. Thank you for your assistance earlier today. So I love to be a little gremlin and be like, new phone. Who this? Just to see how what his reaction is gonna be. Can't remember, but I think it's pretty funny. Jamie Porter. I don't know any Jamie Porter. I'm literally sitting across from you. Oh, you were joking. Yes, hi, and you're welcome for the help. I don't know any Jamie Porter. I'm literally sitting right across from you. Lord. No problem. I'm glad I could help. I do want to say, I turned down your attempt. No, wait. Okay. I do want to say I turned down your attempt at first out of habit. I did appreciate it. Nah, don't worry about it. If you say so. Ha, yeah, it's really okay. I do say so. So that's not the button then. Oh, you were joking. Let's go with a new phone with this. Oh, you were joking. So that's the one. Okay. This is the thing that I need to click. You're welcome for the help. Close chat. The texting continued into the night, well after Cameron drove the two of you back to your apartment. There were a few hiccups here and there as everyone got used to each other's texting styles. At least the mistakes along the way were easy to fodder for inside jokes. But bit by bit, the lulls between the messages got longer, and as sleepiness set in, your mind wandered to the unlikeliness of the day's events. You met them by chance in quick succession thanks to one event. It would have been so easy to have never crossed their paths. If you had been a fraction of a second later, or if you'd not gone to the party at all, maybe you'd already be asleep by now. There was a part of you that couldn't help but indulge in a little bit of fanciful imagination, and before you slipped away to dream, your heart fluttered at the thought of him. One day, just one, and the picture had changed completely. Who knew what tomorrow would bring? So yeah, this is where the next of the events start. But this is the first CG that I got. The winning the $500 CG. Let me just double check. Yeah, here it is. $500 pickup. So yeah, there's a lot to read on in here. I'm just gonna save, and I'm gonna save here, and we're gonna continue this on in the next part of this. I really love keyframes so much. I cannot tell you how much fun I've been having with this. And how many memories it brings back from me trying to romance Jamie, trying to get Jamie's text message and failing. And having to backtrack and redo again and redo it yet again, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop here for the day. I thank you all so much for coming here to watch. I hope you've been having as much fun with me with this game and me as I've been having. I'm so sorry. I don't know that a lot of Let's Play people do like the whole let's backtrack to the beginning of the game and then redo choices and then backtrack to see that and then backtrack to see this and blah 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 blah. I hope that's still fun to watch, even if that's I don't think usually how these things go. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you all in the next part of this little series. Thank you all so much. Bye.